Greetings and welcome back to Doctor Who Revisited, where I go through every single episode of Doctor Who from 1963 all the way to 2023 and review them. And now we are on to the Planet of Evil. Um, so the Tom Baker era of the show is mixed for me. And by that I mean some episodes are amazing, fantastic, some of the greatest of all time, and then you get episodes like this, which are a bit bland and boring to me personally. Part of the reason why Tom Baker is not, higher up on my top five, I think he's actually the top five, the fifth of all my favorite Doctors, mainly because of episodes like this. Because the ratio of Tom Baker era episodes range from amazing, great, all time classics to it's Doctor Who again. Yeah. So that's basically my thoughts on this episode in shortened, and you're gonna see me have this response to several of the Tom Baker era episodes. I'm just letting you know well in advance. That being said, I don't really know what to say too much about this episode. Okay, so it kind of feels a bit generic. It kind of feels like we've been in somewhat of a transitional uh, period from the John Pertwee era to the Tom Baker era, where you can kind of tell that they were building something with the John Pertwee era, with the Earth Empire, which has been seen to various extents and across various different timelines all throughout the John Pertwee era. And I feel like that's something that the Tom Baker era kind of loses, because the episodes are a bit sporadic, not necessarily connected to each other, minus the previous season, of course, which pretty much mostly took place around the same general area for the most part. But now we're getting, I don't even know how many years in the future this episode takes place in. There's some more Earth colonies. I mean, we're familiar with those, but yeah. So it kind of follows up on some of the stuff that from the Tom Baker era episodes, where the human colonies are in crisis. They can only survive by using minerals found on this one specific planet. How often have you seen that in Doctor Who already? And the scientist guy that tries to collect the rock samples or whatever they are, I don't even know if he's in the same episode as all the other characters. Like he's way off, starting from from the get go, from the first time you see him. I do think there's some cool moments in this episode, some cool concepts, like this invisible creature that attacks people only at night, and then their body just disappears while they're still screaming in agony, and shows up a couple minutes later, completely uh, devoid of all skin and bone. No, sorry, just the skin and bone, just the skeleton. I think some of the clothes as well. But yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. I think the monster, whatever you get to see of the monster, whatever that actually looks like, I think is pretty cool. But I love the effects usage of how you perceive the monster. Again, this is supposed to be an antimatter monster. So I like that you're only just seeing just the general 2D outline of the creature. In I'm not even sure what the process that they used to create that visual effect, but this is another one of those effects at the time being what they were situation. But that being said, I like it. I mean, again, if they would have done in the modern era, I think it would have looked a whole lot better. But for the 70s, for what they were trying to do with this alien monster, I think they nailed it for what it is. Of course, there are some slip ups, particularly in that moment when it sort of rises out of the pit that the Doctor eventually falls into. You can kind of see that it kind of slips away from the sides of that large pit. It is what it is. There's some stuff that are just unavoidable. You can't really do too much with that. Maybe if they remade this whole season, I think that's one of the few seasons they hadn't got into yet with the collection series. But I feel like if they remade this season today, they'll definitely fix those visual effects. But yeah, overall, I like that effect. I really like the way the design of the planet itself. It really looks like it could come alive at any moment. And not the biggest fan of the captain person, the blonde guy from the ship. I much prefer the older person that I can't remember his name of at the moment. But yeah, clearly, as you can tell, the crew members didn't really leave much of an impression on me personally. Not a single one of them. I can barely even remember their names, and that's a problem. I mean, that's something you haven't seen me go through some of the John Pertwee era episodes, and I think it shows. So yeah, we're into this. We're into some of these episodes that I feel like are going to be quite lackluster. I feel I like the burial method of it kind of feels like a Viking funeral in space where they just shove the person into a specialized pod and shoot them out of the ship, sort of to be immortalized in space forever. That's kind of more or less what they did with Spock in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Of course, that whole thing didn't really matter because the next movie was literally about the search for Spock. Surprise, he's actually alive, but not getting into that right now. Um, I kind of like that, and it's a really cool cliffhanger of the Doctor and Sergine almost being shot into space, but then stopped at the very last minute. That's a pretty cool cliffhanger, and yeah, there really isn't much to say about this episode. I'm sorry. I tried, but well, my skills are limited in this matter, as I've been led to see. Yeah, so Doctor Who, Planet of Evil. Hopefully, I'll have more to say about the next episode. So thank you for watching. If you have, please tell me in the comments below that you like this episode better than I did. Uh, and let's move on to other episodes. I probably, hopefully, will be much more excited to talk about. So that's it for me for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Hi there. Thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll see you next time.